So after weeks of using dating apps, my friend finally found someone to be with. I mean, she looks alright. I'm just worried because the pictures she showed me of her profile on the dating app, she seemed very critical of many things. One of the prompts on the dating app is something like, we can't get along if, and she listed, if you play video games, if you watch anime, if you voted for a Republican, if you don't have a career. And I'm thinking to myself, friend, everything she says applies to you. I don't know who you voted for this year though, so I don't know about that one. But does she know you watch anime? Does she know you play video games? You don't really have a career, but y'all are starting to date now. I mean, you got to be honest with her. And I thought it was funny because the last time I used a dating app, I saw a lot of that with many female profiles. A lot of women seem to have a problem with guys playing video games, guys into anime, political alignment. And I've seen some that are a little uncontrollable. Like, I remember seeing a profile and it was like, you have to be taller than me, laughing emoji. And her profile listed her as nearly 6 feet. I feel bad for some people, bro. And I was thinking to myself, people talk about women loving Chad-like attributes, right? Having Chad genetics, like a good jawline, tall, naturally muscular, a big package down below, very charismatic, etc. I feel like, though, a lot of people, even if you had Chad genetics, your hobbies or political position or social habits may actually still prevent you from getting a girlfriend. I'm not saying if you're a Chad and good looking, life doesn't come to you easier, but there are people who are socially awkward and very weird people who have Chad genetics, but their behavior and habits are so much of a turnoff, they can't get themselves in a relationship. There's also a narcissistic ideology on the opposite side of this. There are people born without Chad-like attributes, and at the same time, their behavior and habits are very much a turnoff for people in general. And they believe, even though that's the case, they believe if I look like Chad, it wouldn't matter though. I don't know how much I agree with that. I think you might get to first base, but then once people see how weird you are or your hobbies, you just end up losing someone's retention. Look, there are a lot of people who are very good looking, but their way of life is repulsive to a lot of people. And I'm saying that subjectively. That doesn't mean like I think you're a repulsive person. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm just saying like the most normal people per se may not be into it. Let me tell you, look, when I used to play Team Fortress 2 years upon years ago, one of the people who I used to play with consistently, he introduced me to his friend. I don't remember his exact name, to be honest. It was like Robert or something. Let me just call him that, right? Let's just call him Robert. So Robert was like, I don't want to call people autistic or anything like that because the way I'm about to describe him, y'all probably going to think that anyway. This guy's behavior, Robert, was so aggravating to me. He had zero social cues. I'm not even exaggerating. He was like a nonstop troll. He could never be serious no matter what the context was. He had very awkward outbursts. He would like share memes that were like, how is this funny to you or anybody? Like, this ain't funny, bro. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't likable because I liked him as a friend, but even though he aggravated me, but I would maybe say he was somebody where if you have too much of him, he becomes annoying, right? Too much of somebody, they're annoying to be around. He was definitely a very socially odd one to me. So one day, we're chilling on TeamSpeak. This was before Discord popped off, right? It was either TeamSpeak or Mumble, I forgot. And we were talking about our real lives. At this point in time, I had a Facebook account. So we played so much TF2 together, we decided to add each other on Facebook. We trust each other and we call each other friends, so why not? I don't see the harm in that. I add Robert on Facebook. This guy is like famous. Every post he makes, it's like Tumblr cute boy pics. And it would get like 800 likes or more per picture on Facebook. And his comments were women thirsty over him. And I'm like, huh? And pause. But he was a handsome guy. I didn't expect this. He was flashing a six-pack in most of his pictures. He looked like an actual Chad. I first thought he was catfishing or trolling with his Facebook account because that's all he does. He trolls. So like this dude added me on Snapchat when I used to have Snapchat. And he sent me a video of us chatting on TeamSpeak. And in the same video, he went to a mirror in his room. He even messaged me on Facebook. It was really him. And my friend who introduced me to Robert, who isn't a troll like him, confirmed it to me too. They were already friends on Facebook for a long time. They actually have video called several times with each other. So this guy is extremely good looking and has all these women thirsting over him on Facebook. Yet when I asked him, oh, by the way, his inbox was flooded. He sent like a screenshot of his inbox. It's just women in his DMs. And I asked him, why don't you have a girlfriend? And he said, women are yucky and stupid. Literally, word for word. He called women yucky. And I asked, yo, are you zesty? Like what the? He's like, nah, I'm straight. But every time I start talking to women, they just stop talking to me. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder why. Because like I said, his personality was very odd and extreme. Zero social cues. It made me realize, like, yo, you can have the Chad genetics, but if you are really socially awkward or have other social characteristics that turn people off, like Robert does, like I said, I was able to tolerate him, but he didn't really have much friends either, for the record, because his personality. Listen, you could be socially awkward and all that stuff, and you could be good looking, but being a Chad just won't save you in every situation. Like I said, it opened the door for him. It got him to first base, saw those people inboxing him or sending him messages. Then when it was the talking phase time, he kept fumbling. And now he's blaming women for it. When truth be told, I hate to be honest with him, but his personality is just not very socially acceptable to most people. And I've had my fair share of this as well. I'm a tall guy, slim. I don't think I'm an ugly person, really. I think I'm a right in the face. I remember I went on a date with this girl. I'll never forget it, right? And I think some of y'all are gonna get mad about this story because this is how you know this is how unfair the dating scene is, right? We went to the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. I met her online, put the e-dating to use, right? But we met each other quickly and we're talking for like 1 or 2 days, right? So when we met, we were walking towards the park. I remember her and I walking together and we were talking about social norms. And it's funny, I just got out the psych ward, by the way, at that time period. I'm super high on my medication. I'm zombied out. I still have cuts all over my arms and scars on my wrist from slicing myself before I got checked in. And it's summertime. I can't hide what I did. We're talking about social norms. And I'm telling her, and by the way, I'm mentioning that because she acknowledged it, but she's ignoring it for some reason. She's accepting it. And, you know, a lot of people, when they see stuff like that, you see somebody with scars and cuts on their arm, you can think like, what the heck is wrong with this person, right? And she was telling me, she was like, so I told her, first of all, I told her like, hey, yeah, I don't like normal people. Normal people are boring to me. I'm not interested in most mainstream things and yada, yada, yada. And she said, I agree. I'm the same way as you. I like guys who are different and bad. You're lucky you're so tall and have face tattoos. And I didn't acknowledge the severity of that statement until months later because I'm super medicated. I could barely feel or comprehend anything. And later on in the relationship, I got off the medication for her because it destroyed my drive. Listen, even though I'm zombied out, I still want to smash some cheeks, okay? So I got off the meds and my borderline went crazy. I made her go crazy because I was being crazy. And I felt like to this day, the only reason why she stuck with me, despite how chaotic I was acting, was because I was tall and had face tattoos. I don't even feel that face tattoos are redeemable. I know a lot of you guys like it and a lot of women say they like it, but I've been planning to get them removed. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see a point in just having them anymore. I mean, I've had them for like nearly 10 years now. So, you know, people say there's no point in getting them removed. It's just part of you at this point. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like just removing them. My point is, I feel like my physical attributes made me get away with, it made me get away with my behavior. It's funny because I only tell this story to make it fair when I saw Chad, when I say Chad genetics won't save you. But yet it saved me from a situation. Let me tell y'all, you don't know how many times, because some of y'all may be thinking that, you know, it's just easy for me. I spoke to many women after dealing with this chick, right? And I was off my medication. And my borderline was 0 to 100 right when I met somebody. I got to first base, then I get ghosted. Or they say I'm too much for them. Let's keep in mind, if y'all know Waku, I said this before. I talk about getting in a lot of relationships or just talking to certain women. But is it not odd to anybody? I haven't been able to hold down a relationship longer than a year or so. I'm the common denominator here. It's clearly me. I have issues, bro. I can get to first base if I get lucky and someone can tolerate my unmedicated self. I get to second base. And listen, my medicated self too is so boring and dry. I have zero personality. So, and I'm emotionally blunted too at that time period. So I still get lucky, but I never made it to third base with anybody. My habits, my personality, my social tendencies, it ruins everything for me. Yeah, you can have Chad genetics, but if your personality or social tendencies or hobbies or anything else is that disruptive or excessive to people, it won't save you. But for those who are more in tune with reality, and you're not like unhinged like I am or Robert, you're probably right. Being a Chad will probably get things easier for you. But then again, I'm not saying all women are like this, but like how this video started, I'm talking about how a lot of women on these dating apps, they're not rocking with y'all if you play video games or watch anime. And that's like I don't see what's wrong with that, honestly. If you have a political stance, you're cooked, bro. Oh, many years ago, the first time I ever met a girl into astrology, she actually introduced me to it. I wasn't into all that zodiac signs, the sun, the moon, yada, yada, right? Now I know a lot about it because I studied it very deeply. She told me she used to be on a dating app. And when she was on these dating apps, it would show your zodiac sign. Yo, she told me she would just swipe and deny people if their zodiac sign wasn't aligned with hers. She's like, oh, this person is a Sagittarius, not my type of thing. Swipe, like, and she said sometimes she'll swipe and accept people if they look good anyway. And I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of unfair. How about you actually read their profile and get to know them as people? And she was saying like, yo, even though our zodiac signs don't align and they look good on this app, I know what their personality will probably or very likely be like. So we'll never make it far, even if things are going okay. You see what a pretty face and some pictures can do for you? It's sad because you getting discriminated off of a zodiac sign, making assumptions about your personality because it's an excuse to be judgmental. So you can be still a good looking guy or even a Chad and still get screwed over. I think sometimes we get infatuated with getting to first base that we fantasize will make it all the way home. Some of you might dub that the honeymoon phase, but we have to keep in mind that even though pretty privilege is a thing, you can't truly say it will guarantee success. It might increase your chances of opportunities to succeed, but it won't save you if you have other things going on that are repellents to women. You'll get away to an extent, but it won't reach an end game. And out of fairness, some of you may not want an end game. You just want to be around women and start smashing. Okay, well, I'm not that type of person. I crave a long-term relationship. But others, they just crave affection from women. And getting to first base is enough to achieve that for them. And even if they know they can't make it to the end, they'll still be satisfied. Usually what happens after the honeymoon phase, people don't really get infatuated with your looks as much. I'm not saying they completely disregard it, right? But when that honeymoon phase ends, people get comfortable. And then when you two have to deal with each other's personalities instead of mostly physical attraction, things fall apart. That's why when you're in that phase, when you meet someone new and you're attracted to them, that honeymoon phase, people ignore the red flags. They're too infatuated with you. You're so infatuated with them. That's how you end up in relationships with people who you saw red flags in very early on, but you ignored it and now you regret it. I guess people have different intentions. I mean, let's be honest. If you can critique yourself, whoever's watching or listening, do you feel like with how you are now and your tendencies, do you think just boom, if you have Chad genetics, you'll be saved? All your problems will be solved? I mean, you can still be broke. You can still have terrible personality traits or quirky characteristics that are unfavorable to most people. I mean, do you see yourself making an end game though? Personally speaking, I don't think most people will end up seeing an end game unless you will find a very specific person who can match your energy. My whole life, I've only been with one girl who was able to match my energy, but her mental issues were worse than mine. And I haven't been able to meet anyone like that ever again. I either get ghosted or I'm told I'm too much to deal with or handle. So what? Like, what do I do? Like, am I supposed to just date people who are worse than me or just mentally ill? Like, there's not necessarily a way to do that. I'm not gonna go on 4chan and date people, bro. Like, I'm not gonna go that low. And then the normal girls I talk to, it's not for them, right? Like I said, they just ghost me or think I'm too much. It's not winnable. That's why I'm saying, if you feel like, if you feel like you're extremely socially backwards or messed up in the head or have hobbies or tendencies, most people will not put up with it after a period of time, even if you were a Chad. It's sad because you have to be a specific way to receive acceptance in the dating scene, even with good looks. Actually, not even just the dating scene, just socially. You got to be normal. Like, I don't know. It's just not my thing. It's funny because I was talking to that girl about social norms. Like, I was saying, like, I don't really like normal people. I feel like that's boring to me. I don't know. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me very comfortable being around people who are too normal. But hey, what do y'all think? Anything to add? This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Times Square.
Nightmare 7 a.m. in the morning though. No surprise. Times Square's you and I under those lights. No disguise. Don't tell me everything you wanted was a lie. All those city lights, it's an endless night. Never expected you to bring me so much life. Close my eyes too long, then it's time to say goodbye. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Caution. Wait a moment, keep my heart locked away, it's filled with emotion. Gave the key to you, right in front of you is open. Hey, try your best to not leave it broken. Oh, it's been a while since you know it's frozen.